Hello, turn this and these into this. My name's Mark Brown, aka the Great British Chocolatier, and you're watching Chocolate Plus. Hello and welcome to, as you heard, Chocolate Plus, where you can make the chocolate treat to make all your friends envious of you. We're going to start with putting on our gloves. Excuse the first video, but the first video is probably always awkward. But I've been making chocolate for over 10 years, and the first time I thought about making a video about it. So anyway, what we have in here, like I showed you in the beginning, we have our chocolate chips in here. This is candy chocolate, which means they've taken out the cocoa butter and replaced it with a vegetable oil like palm oil. And don't worry, these ones taste absolutely delicious. But the reason for this is that we can nuke them in the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time, and after 2 or 3 goes, the chocolate's ready melted, ready for the dipping. So I'm going to throw it in the microwave right now. Like I said, 30 seconds at a time. You don't do more than that. You can do less, but 30 seconds is a good start-off point. I use a plastic bowl as opposed to a metal, or you can't put metal in the microwave because the thing will explode. But I don't use glass because glass to me makes everything hot and I don't like handling it. So plastic works good to me as long as it's microwave safe. And once the ding go ding, then I can do the first stir. Here we go, take them out. As you can see, they're all pretty much still not melted. Why should I stir them? You stir them because you stir them. And just to move the heat around a little bit. Now you're gonna see a greater result after the second batch of 30 seconds in the microwave. They're gonna melt a lot more. Sometimes that's good enough. You don't need another round. Most of the time, you need a third round between 15 to 30 seconds at a time. So we're gonna see how it goes. But that's the first step, melting your chocolate. Again, we're not tempering it. It's candy chocolate, which you can buy at any craft store, in Walmart and stuff like that, Michael's or Hobby Lobby, none of which are a sponsor. But as you can see, they're starting to melt, and we're gonna stir them around just to distribute that heat in the chocolate buttons right there in the wafers. And we're going to stir them, and it looks like they're going to need another 15 to 30 seconds. Don't worry if you leave some in the fork, it's always good. I'm going to throw it in for another 30 seconds. So that's now going to be a minute and a half that we have melted this chocolate, which again saves a whole lot of tempering time when we're using real chocolate, which has the cocoa and the cocoa butter in it, and you've got to temper up to 100 so degrees and then bring it back down to 80 and bring it back up. It's a lot of, and we're not going to go into that today. We're going to make chocolate you can make and be the envy of all your friends, and you're going to be everyone's best friend, because everybody loves chocolate. So here we go. As you can see now, the chocolate is mostly melted, so we don't need to put it in there again. It's got a nice little flow. Just gonna melt off what's on the fork. And again, as you can see, look at that. Absolutely the flow that you want. Everything's nice and beautiful. And can't ask for better than that. So next ingredient we have is our Oreos. Again, not a sponsor, but you can use any cookie that you like, or biscuit if you're in what I call the mother country. And just simply take out the Oreo and drop it into the chocolate. Now what I like to do here is to smush it around on the sides, turn it over and over. I use the fork because I don't always want to get my hands dirty, especially wearing gloves. That means you've got to clean it. And you can do this by hand. You put hand in the on the side, and which is no problem at all. But I like to get into the sides, make sure that cookie is completely drenched, and sometimes it's not always good to use words. But you want to get all into the nooks and crannies of the cookie. You can tap it off if you want to shake off all the chocolate, or you can just give it a light little 1-2, and then we're going to drop it onto the wax paper. I should have said this before. You can have a plate, or you can have an oven tray. You can use parchment paper. This is wax paper. Both is good, just so that it's not on the metal. And you saw how simple it was. You're just dipping it in, and then you're mixing it around, giving it a chocolate bath. Now, wouldn't we want to be the Oreo right now? Absolutely. So, you see how simple it is? I'm not even knocking on the side of the bowl. So I like a lot of chocolate on the Oreo, and gently placing it down. And we're just going to repeat these steps over and over again. Now, of course, this chocolate will start to harden up in about 5 minutes or so. So you can probably get about 8 to 12 cookies done at a time before you're going to have to put it back in the microwave for another, I would say, 5 to 10 seconds. You don't want to put it in for another 30, because then you'll overheat the chocolate, and then you'll burn it, and the chocolate will start getting hard, and then it won't change the taste, but it'll be very hard to work with. So I'm just going to carry on here. I may speed up the camera a little bit if I've got the skill to do that. But you see how simple it is. We're just throwing it in there, jostling it around in the chocolate bath with the fork, nothing fancy, and then placing it down. Now you see this? That's what we don't want, an air bubble. That's why I try to get it around. But that's simply what you do. You just use the fork and just knock out that hole right there, using the chocolate already has, or with a bit more chocolate. There's no harm in more chocolate. Everybody loves chocolate, unless you don't like chocolate, and then all I can say is I feel sorry for you, but chocolate is everybody's best friend, whether you like milk chocolate, dark chocolate, or white chocolate. Now you see what happened here, that I've actually put a little bit too much. You see the puddle? Yeah, I don't often like the puddle there, but it is what it is, and we got what we got. So I can't rewind the tape now, start again, take the chocolate off. So we're just going to leave it as is. But like I said, if there's more chocolate, so much the better. We're just going to do this a few more times. I think I'll make 10 of them. If you want to knock off the chocolate, that's good too. Place it down and repeat. We're going to knock it back around. And you can play some music, and due to all the copyright stuff that YouTube has, I'm not playing any music today, but I will often play something in the background to listen to while I do this. So that's it, one at a time. Take your time, jostling it about, trying to get the chocolate into under, where the cream is, so that we don't get those air bubbles, but they're going to happen. And you just, like I said, you can just knock them out afterwards. And I think I'll just tap out a little bit more of the chocolate, and you just place it down. And you'll see the difference from when I started knocking off a little bit more chocolate. They look a little bit better, a whole lot better now, because they don't have that big old puddle underneath them. So, alright, so there we go. I'm just going to make 10. Well, let's do 12. I'll do 2 more. Since we have the chocolate, and we're not going to use all the chocolate up, because we're going to use some more chocolate in a minute again to put even more chocolate on top of it. But you'll see how easy and simple it is. You're just putting the Oreo into the chocolate rather, and rolling it around, trying to get into all those nooks and crannies so that we don't get any of those little holes in the side of the, and then that's it. 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Now we could go on, we could make a whole tray of maybe about 12 to 15 before we have to put it back in, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to throw these in the fridge and I'll be right back. Now in the fridge they are going to take between 10 minutes, 8 to 12 minutes I would say, just so they all firm up. Then we're going to take them outside to get room temperature for a few more minutes. And then we're going to pipe the rest of this chocolate into a piping bag, and then we're going to decorate the top of them with the same chocolate. And then we're going to wrap them up in some foils. Very simple process, and makes a delicious treat to eat for yourself, eat with friends, take to if you're going out for a party, you can take a whole bunch of these with you. There's so many things you can take chocolate to. Anyway, I'm babbling. So I'm probably going to cut this. I'll be back when the chocolate's done. Okay, great. Now we're back. We have a few things here. As you see, the chocolate started to toughen up, so I'm going to throw it in the microwave again for about 15 seconds, just to loosen it up again. Got yourself a piping bag. This is the Wilton brand from Michael's. Not a sponsor, but you can use a food bag. A food bag. I'm going to use a spoon this time. It's not quite all melted, so let me put it in there for another 15 seconds. So we want it nice and loose again, so that we can put it in the piping bag, and then we can put it on our chocolate Oreos here. As you see, we started off a little bit too much. The paddle is big around the Oreo. Not a problem, just going to be more enjoyable for the person that eats it. But we really wanted them to look like so that there's got a nice, no big paddle on the bottom. I think that's good. And so here we go. And you just simply pour it into the piping bag, or your food bag, whichever food storage bag that you have. Getting as much as we possibly can. If you've got little kids, they can lick out the bowl. If you want to be the big kid, you can lick out the bowl. And there we go. So that's that done. And now, what we do now is squeeze it down to the end and tie it up. And I need a pair of scissors, which I have here. Now, of course, you don't want to snip here too much chocolate. You want to snip just on the tip of it, on the end, away from the chocolate. So, and don't squeeze it because it'll squirt out. So just a little tiny piece on the end, as you can see. And that might be too small. So let's knock out a little bit more. And use our bowl. See, so there we go. We've got a nice little stream right there. And what we're going to do, you're going to twist and hold in your hand, and then you gently squeeze with your fingers like that. You see? And it takes practice. So what we're going to do, just do a squiggly line just over the top. I wish I could hold the camera to show you. But you're just going to go 1, 2, 3 over the top of the Oreo. You can do lines back and forth. If you want to do squiggles, you can do those round squiggles, whichever you want. You could, if you're adventurous, You could put your initial on top of it, or to the person that you're giving it to, and then that's that done. Now what I do here, I just give them a little nudge. If you want to move. So that's, I often use parchment paper, but this is wax paper today. And you just want to just make sure that you just move a tiny bit. These aren't cooperating, but that's okay. This is what happens when you record with one camera. Just so that, and they can dry at room temperature. And so when they take time to dry, they'll be ready to eat. You could eat them now, but you're gonna, because the chocolate is still hard, hard. It's gonna make a mess, which is okay. If you like a mess, you could do that. But I'm gonna throw them in the microwave. No, I'm not gonna throw them in the see. This is probably gonna be edited, but this is what happens when you got one camera, one tripod, and you're trying to do this, trying to remember everything without rambling on. But this is live, not live now because you're watching it pre-recorded. But this is what happens. But it's my first video, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and watching the video. How to make chocolate covered Oreos. It is absolutely something that you can do. To speed up the process, I'm going to throw them back in the refrigerator, and then I'll be back. Have fun. Okay, we're back. Everything is nice and done. And you see now, where we put the pattern on, drizzle it over the top, just makes it look pretty. These ones aren't as pretty, but like I said, you can do different designs on them, play around. And if you get chocolate stuck like that, just break it off. It's not a problem. You see it on a few. And if you use parchment paper, it's easy to move these. These won't get stuck so much as with the wax paper does. So, it's not really look like that. And this is why I wear the gloves, so that my hands are not touching the food, especially when other people are going to eat them, or if you're going to make a treat for somebody. Want to make sure it's all kept clean. You see how this one's got a nice big foot, a little bit too much chocolate, but there's no such thing as too much chocolate. Now what I like to do here, I get a little bit more of the wax paper, put it here. Hopefully we can still see. Let me move these around so you can see. And I have some foils here that I've used before, of all different colours, and I think these are 4x4. I've got them from Amazon, and you can serve them just like that, no problem whatsoever. But I like to wrap some up in foil, so what I do, place it in the middle, and simply tuck in the corners. And if there's too much chocolate on there, they'd be too small for the foils, but I'm not worried about that too much. And there you go, see? Nicely done. Let's pick a different colour. Pick a cherry red, or Christmas red. I often wrap these up in packs of 6 as gifts that I sell on the market. And then there you go, you can press it down, see the design on top. Let's do one more, let's do a gold one. I won't do too many. I'll probably fast forward through this bit while I do most of the rest. Like I said, have some music playing, relax, and just have fun wrapping them up as you make some tasty treats. And these sometimes get stuck together, so just make sure you're using one. Again, you can pick these foils up from Amazon. You can get them at Michael's, hashtag not a sponsor. any craft stores, but Amazon's a good place to get the foils. And see, just press it not too hard because you don't want to heat up the chocolate, but you see the design on the top there? Makes it look cute. Well, I'm going to do a few more and then we're going to have the finished product, so I'll speed this part up. And there you go, that's the end result. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like, comment and subscribe. There will be more videos coming as we do pretzels, marshmallows, Rice Krispie treats, all kinds of stuff that you can wrap up in chocolate. And we're going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.